When you think of Napoleon Bonaparte, what comes to mind? A legendary military genius? The unstoppable conqueror of Europe? A guy who was entirely too confident for someone who couldn't reach the top shelf in his own kitchen. What you probably don't picture is the Emperor of the French running for his absolute life from a horde of fluffy, twitchy-nosed rabbits. But history is deeply, wonderfully stupid, and in 1807, the greatest tactical mind of the 19th century suffered his most humiliating defeat at the paws of some bunnies. The year is 1807. Napoleon has just signed the treaties of Tilsit, effectively ending the War of the Fourth Coalition. He is at the absolute peak of his power. To celebrate this monumental diplomatic victory, he decides he wants to do what all insanely powerful historical men do: aggressively shoot at some wildlife. He tasks his chief of staff, Alexandre Berthier, with organizing a massive rabbit hunt. Berthier, wanting to impress his very intimidating boss, decides that a regular hunt just isn't good enough. He doesn't just get a few rabbits, he buys them by the hundreds. Some historians say up to 3,000 rabbits. But here is where Berthier makes a catastrophic, career-defining mistake. Instead of trapping wild hares, which naturally run away from loud noises and men with guns, Berthier takes the easy route. He buys tame, domesticated farm rabbits from local peasants. The day of the hunt arrives. The emperor, his top generals, and all the European VIPs are gathered in a grassy field, holding their weapons, looking incredibly majestic. Berthier gives the signal. The cages are opened. Now, normally, the wild animals are supposed to scatter in terror, allowing the brave generals to shoot them. But remember, these are farm rabbits. They don't see Napoleon, the terrifying, battle-hardened conqueror. They see a short man in a funny hat who looks exactly like the farmer who usually brings them their morning cabbage. Instead of running away, the 3,000 rabbits turn as one unified, fluffy army and charge directly at the Emperor of France. At first, Napoleon and his generals just laugh. It's a cute, funny little misunderstanding. But the rabbits do not stop. They swarm the men, biting at their boots, climbing up their very expensive trousers, and burrowing into Napoleon's velvet jacket. The greatest military commanders in Europe are suddenly frantically swinging their riding crops, trying to beat back a tidal wave of aggressive fluff. The men are screaming, the gunshots do absolutely nothing to deter the onslaught. The bunnies want their cabbage, and they will take no prisoners. The situation becomes so dire that Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who literally brought empires to their knees, is forced to order a full tactical retreat. He sprints toward his imperial carriage, but the rabbits are too fast. They divide into two wings, flanking the emperor and actually making it into his carriage before he does. Napoleon barely escapes, ordering his carriage driver to speed away as he furiously throws bunnies out the window onto the dirt. It remains the only time in human history a European superpower was completely routed by a petting zoo. So, the next time you feel like you've really messed up at work, just remember Alexandre Berthier, because you might have accidentally hit reply all on an email, but you didn't organize a coordinated bunny strike team that nearly assassinated Napoleon.